It's the Half Hour Wasted and Legion of Dudes podcasts. This is Jordan from Jersey with the Legion of Dudes, and this is I thought the comics I read the week of July 28th, 2010. Now, I've only got a couple books this week, so I'm going to try something a little bit new, but we'll get to that in just a minute. First off, Secret Avengers number 3. I loved issue number 1. I haven't loved issue number 2 or number 3. They haven't been bad. They just didn't have the shocking ending of the first issue. This one had an interesting beginning that involved the Civil War. I don't know 100% where they're going with that because they bring one of the characters back later. And I'm assuming that means there's some kind of time and space portal in the Old West that links up to Mars in the future. We'll find out eventually, but kind of a strange bit there. Otherwise, I like the issue. I just don't love it yet. Don't forget to check out hhwlod.com. That's hhwlod.com. Legion of Dudes, we just put out an episode on Batman and Death in the Family. It's my first Batman book I've covered on the show. I get a few zingers in there, I like to think. It's an interesting series, has some good points and some bad points, but you have to listen to the episode to find out exactly what we thought of them. And we review the Batman Under the Red Hood, brand new straight-to-DVD and Blu-ray movie from DC Animated. Very cool. Also going to be discussing this week Batman The Dark Knight Returns. So Batman The Dark Knight Returns will be this week and 2 weeks from now when they come out. And in between that, my first foray as the lead host of the group, which will be Universal War I, the comic I reviewed way back when. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a whole in-depth, spoiler-filled review and analysis of all 6 issues. It should be awesome. Check it out. Please check it out because it's my first episode and I want everybody to hear it. So if you're watching this, go to hhwlod.com, download that episode when it comes out. Don't worry, I'll let you know. But download all the episodes. Check them out, but especially check out mine. And then come on and listen to all of them because we'd appreciate that. So hhwlod.com and forumforgeeks.com are brand new forums. Check them out. Then we have Cowboy Ninja Viking, issue number 7. Love Cowboy Ninja Viking, as I've said many times. Dialogue great, story mostly convoluted. This one was actually less convoluted than the series has been. Main story is they've lost the bomb they were trying to get, and they lost the engineer that was going to help them explode it. So now they got to pick up another one, and they're trying to figure out where to get it. Also, Duncan, the Cowboy Ninja Viking, as of last issue, he was cured of his multiple personalities. And turns out that was a nefarious trick from the enemy, and so now he's stuck with only his ninja persona, and maybe his non-anything persona. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But regardless, he doesn't have the cowboy or the Viking, and so it looks like this series he's going to be trying to find those two again. The series continues to be hilarious. Anytime you have 2 or 3 triplets in a room arguing about the most asinine stuff out there, it's hilarious. And as long as the series keeps doing that and is relatively easy to follow, like this issue, A+ for me. And then we have The Walking Dead Volume 12. That's right. Life Among Them. Last trade paperback dealt with cannibals and not zombies. Live human cannibals. That was really disturbing. This particular volume takes the disturbing down several notches as our heroes discover a community, or they don't really, the community discovers them, of people who are trying to rebuild and seemingly aren't trying to eat them or do anything else crazy like the governor's people were way back, or the cannibals last volume. Love Walking Dead. I'm really excited for the series that comes out in October. Now, the pilot of that series will be written and directed by Frank Darabont, and I can't help but think that this character was based on him, because it looks quite a bit like him. Douglas Monroe. He's the leader of the new town. So the whole volume, you're waiting for the town to start doing really crazy things to our survivors. It doesn't happen. In fact, the survivors start to do some really crazy things to the other people that they've just found. So I love this series. I can't wait to see where it goes. All right, so I only have 1 issue left. We're going to hold off on that for a minute because I like to try something a little bit different. Like I said, I only have a couple books, but a friend of mine has some more, so we're going to bring him on the line. And yes, the audio gets a little bit wonky here. Sorry about that. We're working through some technical issues. But enjoy. This is my friend Rich, and we're going to have some new comics, some comics I don't cover, some DC stuff, and he's going to give you his thoughts on them real quick. And then we're going to discuss Batman the Widening Gyre number 6. So how you doing today, Rich?
Doing great.
All right, and what comics do you have for us today to talk about?
Well, the first one I bought is Wonder Woman 601.
And how you liking the new
Um,
costume there?
well, it was introduced in 600. I like it. I mean, of course, the classic is always the best in my opinion, but I think they did a tasteful redo of it in this case. What's interesting in 601, it furthers into the story that started in 600, which is more of a reboot of her origin story and the mythological beginnings of her and her people. Surrounds everything with the sacrifice of her mother, which Straczynski, as if you know from some of the stuff he's done with Superman and some other things, you see a lot of parallels in this origin story, this reboot between Superman and Wonder Woman. You know, the whole sacrifice of the parent to save the child, that kind of thing. But it's good. It's really good. There is one part that concerns me is where she's talking a little bit about, you see her having dreams of her former life. And what worries me there is that maybe we'll end up seeing, oh, this was just a dream sequence, this whole
Okay.
reboot. You know, I'm hoping that that's not the case. I'm hoping that they really are going forward with a good story here. And maybe that's just they're out in case it fails. They can just say, oh, it was all a dream. I don't
Right.
know. But definitely, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely a good story.
Okay, but the main show for tonight, we're going to be discussing Batman: The Widening Gyre, issue 6, from Kevin Smith. This is a book that both of us read. Before we get into that chat, let's just preface this with there will be spoilers for this issue. There's been spoilers for this issue since before it came out. I was spoiled last week. It still is a great comic, but so spoiler alert, and now let's get into it. Baphomet, the character we've been following for this first 6 issues as a new partner for Batman, Robin or Nightwing style. Yeah, it turns out he's the villain Automatopoeia, and he kills Silver St. Cloud, or slits her throat at least, at the last panel of the book. So going from there, what did Walt Flanagan tell you last night?
Well, interesting as like I said, I was chatting with him outside the Granada Theater, and he asked me, he's like, "Did you see it coming?" And I said, "Well, I knew that there was something not right with the Baphomet character. Something didn't set easy. Did I know that he was a villain? Not sure. Did I know he was Automatopoeia? Hell no." But what's interesting is he's like, if you look back at like issue 4 of the series, you actually see at one panel where you have Batman and Baphomet together, and there's an artwork on the back of the wall, and it's actually Judas leaning in to kiss Jesus, so it's the Judas kiss. He said that was kind of a nod towards what was coming. If you look in issue 5, when he follows Baphomet back to his house, that house is the same artwork. It's the same house that you have from Cacophony. Pronounce it for me.
Cacophony. Batman Cacophony was the 3-issue miniseries for Batman Smith did right before this. It's also great. Pick that one up if you can find it.
Yeah, I just can't pronounce it. It's the same artwork. It's the same house that was used. It was Automatopoeia's house. He just kind of covered over the address and a little bit of the front porch of it using a tree from a different angle than he did in that first series.
So you like the comic?
I love the comic, and as far as like you mentioned, he kills Silver in the end. Well, slits her throat. I mentioned to Walt, I was like, yeah, of course he knows where the story's going because he's drawing it. Which he said that the next issue 7, or the beginning of book 2, will come out probably around October. He just had that Walt Flanagan grin on his face, and it was just like, I'm very pleased in how the Silver storyline turns out. And he goes, I think you'll be pleased too. For the series so far, I can't rate it. I mean, anything Kevin does, and just, it's hard to rate, but looking at it objectively, I'd say this series so far, the first book, the 1 through 6, is a good, solid 9 out of 10. But for issue number 6, 10 out of 10, definitely.
Yeah, I love the book too. And, I mean, you pretty much said all there is to say. So thank you for joining us tonight, Rich. And
right.
Maybe we can do this again in the future.
All right.
Thanks, Rich, for dropping by. That's the comics we read the week of July 28, 2010. I've got to get going, so have a good week. It's the Half Hour Wasted and Legion of Dudes podcasts.